Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain.
I'm Lynn.
And today we're going to be doing a board game collection cull video. If you've never seen one of these before, we're going to go through a bunch of stuff we are culling from our game collection and tell you, a brief version of why we're culling it, why we're getting rid of it. These are all things that we're going to be donating or selling or giving to friends, etc. But they're going to be out of our personal game collection. And this is, what's the date today?
I think it's the 15th.
July. Yeah. Oh, geez. Wow, I'm out of it. It is July 15th. This is our collection cull for Gen Con because we always have to get rid of a bunch of the stuff from our collection before we go to Gen Con because we know we're going to be getting a lot more games at the convention and we need space. And, well, we kind of, I'm not positive. I haven't double checked, but I think this might be the biggest game collection cull we have ever done. Like
yeah, it's pretty big.
There's a ton of games we're getting rid of. There's a lot of stuff where we have had these things in our collection for a long time and kept passing them over for culling, but they just weren't getting played. So then we're like, okay, these need to go, right? Was that?
Yeah, because I feel like I would rather have a smaller collection that gets played rather than a larger collection that doesn't.
And I think I've come around to kind of agreeing with that. And keep in mind, when Lynn is saying smaller versus larger, we're still talking about in the hundreds of games. Because I want to say after getting rid of these, we probably still have over 300 games in our collection.
Yeah, this is just a small...
It's a small fraction.
A small smattering.
Yeah, we do have a very large game collection. And it's not just board games, too. We're also getting rid of some card games. We're getting rid of some role-playing games. Anything else we should say about this, or should we just get into it?
I think we can just start.
Okay. Do you want to go first or second?
You can go first.
Okay. So I'm going to grab the first thing. I think I'm going to start with the stack on the floor here I've got over here. I'm going to start with this small thing here. This was a game I had done a preview video to when they were on Kickstarter as Robinson Crusoe. It was a fun little game. Kickstarter was successful and they sent me a final copy of it, which is really cool, and I've had it in my collection for some time. It's kind of a deck building game based on the book of Robinson Crusoe. And I liked it, but it just doesn't hit the table anymore. It's kind of one of those things where I've got too many deck building games. And even though I like all of them, I gotta cut one of them. One of my favorite things about this is that a lot of the cards are dual purpose because there was the thing where the backs could always be used as food, as a resource, which was neat. But yeah, unfortunately, like I say, it just doesn't hit the table anymore. And because of that, I'm going to cull it. And I hope it'll find a good home with somebody else. Because this is one that I think someone else will enjoy. It's just not hitting the table with us.
Mm-hmm. My first one is Upon a Fable.
That.
There we go. It's like a fairy tale game. I enjoyed it, but Josh wasn't a fan of it, and it never really gets played. So
yeah,
again,
it's okay.
Like I said, it's taking up space. It never gets played.
And do you remember? I don't know if you remember, but you got that game for free.
Oh, because you bought some wizard game, right? And then
it was one year we were at Gen Con and we were doing the rush on Thursday where you run around and get all the new releases. You went to their booth and you got some games from them and expansions for me, and you had bought enough that you got to get a free game. So you just grabbed this on a whim. You liked it a bunch. We did play it a bunch of times.
It's like it's fun. I think someone who enjoys it more.
Yeah.
Because, again, I did like it, but I didn't love it. So it wasn't
and I was just kind of okay
It wasn't like I was always wanting to play it. But it's like you build your own little fairy kingdom. And
that's fun.
Someone will like it.
Yeah, it's someone else will appreciate it more. Someone, it'll find a home with someone else, and that'll be good. All right, so my next one I'm going to show is a game actually I enjoyed quite a bit when we played it, which is Pinball Showdown. Now, I'm a huge pinball fan. Love pinball. I have my own pinball machine here in the basement, and I love the theme. I liked some of the mechanics, but again, this is just one of those where it just doesn't make it to the table for one reason or another. There's other games that do what it does better, and as much as I did enjoy playing this game and really enjoyed the theme was the thing that was really killer for me. I loved the pinball theme on this. It just never hits the table anymore. It's probably not hit the table in like 2 years. So yeah, I'm hoping someone else who's also a board game and pinball fan will buy this and enjoy it and get to play it more than I have. You know, because I mean that's the idea. I want someone else to play it more than I've been playing it.
Next one is Village Crone, and this is another one where I liked it. Josh thought it was all right, and
it's all right.
and you know, it just doesn't get played. It just doesn't get played. I suggest, oh, why don't we play Village Crone? He's like, and then I'm like, okay, we won't play Village Crone. So yeah, it's just.
I almost did like a cat sound there, which actually would go with it. You know, the black cat for the old Village Crone. Anyway, moving along. Next one I've got here is a game that I reviewed, and it is a cool game. It's a role-playing game. It is the Fallout role-playing game, Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Now, this is a role-playing game based on the Fallout tabletop game. You're meant to use the miniatures and such from the tabletop game in a role-playing game type setting. I reviewed it. I think the game system is cool, but I don't actually have any of the miniatures or the tabletop game, so the chances of me actually getting this to the table and really playing it are kind of low. The company had given me this to review, but had never given me the Fallout like miniature game to review. So yeah, so it just sort of seems to be taking up space, even though I love the Fallout world, and actually the rules in this are really cool and are very much like a throwback to original D&D, where it's basically a war strategy game with the concept of a role-playing game tacked on, which is kind of how it feels, which I dig, but without the rest of the fact that we don't have that, and there's probably, again, lately a lot of the games we get are ones to review, so there's very few that we actually buy. Yeah, it's probably not going to hit the table, so I'm going to be... Hopefully someone else will get to play this. Someone else will get to enjoy it.
My next one is Crosshairs. I think, is this like a racing game?
It is.
I
It's a racing game where you're playing different rabbits with like asymmetrical powers.
We played it a couple times. It was fine.
It was fun.
Like, it's not terrible.
It's not bad for a modern racing game because that's rare.
Yeah, it was just both of us were just like, yeah, it's fine.
And that's the big thing, is it doesn't hit the table enough.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. So yeah, again, and again, so far we haven't gotten into any real negativity.
Yeah,
I mean, negativity will be coming.
There will be.
But we haven't gotten into any real negativity. A lot of these are games where it's like, they're not bad. They're just not hitting the table with us. So maybe someone else will enjoy them more. Next, some negativity. So this is a game that we played and we had fun with. However, the negativity, let me explain. So this is the last of the Palladium games that's still in our collection. I don't even know why we still have this. We got rid of Rifts. We got rid of Palladium Fantasy. We got rid of... we got rid of everything but Dead Rain. We used to have a lot of their other games. The thing is, Palladium's system has become very dated. It's very outdated. The artwork is great. That was one of the things I liked most about these. Is I love the zombie artwork on them. Very cool cover art. But the system is old. The system is outdated, and everything that is bad about the Palladium system, because they use the same basic system for all of their games. Everything that's bad about the Palladium system for their other games like Palladium Fantasy and Rifts is even worse with Dead Rain, because this is a game that was made in the 2000s, and they, by then they really should have known better and tried to update it with this, especially since it was done with such a generic theme as the zombie apocalypse. There were other companies out there doing systems in the zombie apocalypse better, and they still hadn't updated their system. And one of the few changes they made to this, and this is where a lot of my negativity comes in, one of the few changes they made to this is that while they had a system in the regular Palladium rules for hitting a very small target, like trying to hit something in the head, for hitting the zombies in the head, they changed it to needing like a static 18, 19, or 20 to hit them in the head, which means that a trained, like Navy SEAL sniper and an 11-year-old child have the same chance to kill a zombie by getting a headshot, which is stupid. Why would you do that? Okay, rant over.
Did that feel good?
It did feel good to get it out. It felt good to get it out. I would say I hope someone else enjoys this, but you're gonna need to alter the system significantly to get any enjoyment out of this. But the artwork is gorgeous. Maybe you'll enjoy it on an aesthetic level.
Do some home rules.
Home brewing rules. I actually have some of the artwork from one of these books up on the wall over there because I like the artwork in these so much. The artwork is great. That's something I've never complained about with Palladium is they have amazingly nice artwork.
Okay, the next one is the Judge Dredd miniature game. There's a lot of stuff.
A lot of pieces in there.
Miniatures. Yeah. So I bought this because it was Judge Dredd and
You're obsessed with Judge Dredd.
I just kind of saw Judge Dredd and bought it. And then I was like, oh, I don't really like miniature games. And we played it like once.
We played it once.
And I was like,
wasn't bad.
I was like, maybe I'll like it since it's Judge Dredd. And I'm like, no, I just don't like miniature games.
Yeah, you're not big on the miniature war games. You like spaces. You don't like measuring with rulers. So for gaming. So.
Yeah, the one with the cars is okay. I think.
Oh, that's the only one. What is that?
Like
Gaslands.
Yeah, that's like the only one that I still like. I don't love it.
But is that like the only miniature game that you've actually in recent years liked? Is Gaslands? Because you've played a few games of Gaslands, and you did say you liked it. You enjoyed, well, because you know what? It's not really about battling. It's about winning the race.
That's true.
That's probably why you like it. My next one here is Gold Ahoy, and this is on my side of the table because it was my game, but actually it was Lynn who very much has been lobbying for me to get rid of it. I was very hesitant to want to get rid of it because it is a Mayfair game. Mayfair games no longer exists anymore. It's a fun little tiling game. I liked it. Lynn hates it. To be honest, it just doesn't hit the table because Lynn really doesn't like it, and she's the main person I play little two-player tile laying games with, and you did not like this one at all. So I finally agreed to Cull Gold Ahoy, and there it is.
My next one is Manhattan Project. We have a lot of worker placement games.
We do.
And every single one of those other games I would play over Manhattan Project.
Which is like, this was a fun game. We enjoyed it when we first got it.
It's like one of the OG worker placement games. But, like I would play Lords of Waterdeep or...
I like argued against getting rid of this because of how much fun we used to have with this game. But the thing is, you're right. There's too many other newer worker placement games. And like even Lords of Waterdeep we would play before this.
Yeah.
And that's an old school.
Yeah, that's another of the OG worker placements.
Of the OG workers, yeah. We've also got like
any of the
Everdell,
the Ken Follett ones.
Or like Everdell, or Pillars of the Earth, or what was I'm trying. There was that one that's like Pillars of the Earth, but except you're trying to be an evil villain, and it's like I forget what it's called. We've got a bunch. We've got so many worker placements. Oh, also was it Librarium, the one where you're like librarian gnomes? Is that what it's called?
Ex Libris?
Oh, Ex Libris. I'm mixing up games. Ex Libris, and then we've got a ton.
Yeah, there's many.
Asking for Troubles. Yeah, we've got a ton of worker placement games in the collection. So yeah, that's the problem. Is like any one of those would probably hit the table for it. You're right, and that is the issue. So these are never opened. These are 2 expansions for Mystic Vale. Now, we still have Mystic Vale in the collection, but the thing is, we play Mystic Vale so rarely that we never feel like opening one of these and checking out the rules and adding it to it. We have Mystic Vale with the very first expansion that came out for it, and that's kind of good enough for us. I think we have played it once since we won these. We won these at a game night. And we didn't bother opening either one of these and playing it. And we're like, yeah, we're not going to. Because the thing is, like, since we play it so rarely, we have to relearn it when we do play it. It will still occasionally get played, but we have to relearn it when we play it, and we don't want to relearn it and then learn something all new also. So we're like, yeah, we're not going to bother with these 2. So they're still sealed. Someone else will hopefully get to mess with them and enjoy them. I'm not saying we don't still like Mystic Vale. We do. It's just... Not gonna bother with those expansions. Oh, here comes some negativity. I just saw what you grabbed.
The next one is Gravwell. This is a newer game that we did a review for, and I hated it.
You did. You hated it.
Josh
a lot.
thought it was all right.
I thought it was okay. It was middle of the road for me. It was middle of the road.
It feels unfinished, and I didn't like it. 1.2 people had fun while we played it.
All right, so here's the thing. If you want a full explanation, watch the review and tutorial we just released for this. Actually, probably not long before this video. In fact, at the time of this recording, it's not out yet, so it'll probably be out shortly before this video we're doing now. But the short version is, I wouldn't have even defended this game, even though I liked it better than Lynn did. I didn't like it enough to keep it in the collection. I was surprised too from the look of it. I thought I was going to like it. It was a disappointment for me. Wasn't a fan. My next one is a classic. It is Stratego. Now, it looks all sci-fi, but it's really just original Stratego here. Now, the thing is this. Stratego is a game that Lynn and I grew up with. And once upon a time, there was a overlooked Stratego variant that was collectible called Stratego Legends that Lynn and I got really into back in the day. And we got rid of it. It's a garage sale, and it kind of makes me sad because you can't find it anymore. And I really wish they'd do a new edition of it. But we get nostalgic for that game every once in a while. We talk about it, and it's never come back in print. Basically, it was a version of Stratego where you could customize your army, and they had special abilities for the different units, and it was really fun. When we were getting nostalgic one time, we decided to get regular Stratego to reminisce. We played it a few times and realized we have a ton of games in our collection that do what it does better, like Shadows in Kyoto or Thunder and Lightning. These are all games that do the Stratego kind of bluffing, abstract mechanic, but do it more fun. And this just is not going to really be hitting the table over them. I mean, I think if they ever do a new version, if they ever try to reboot Stratego Legends, we'll probably get right on. Like, would you be with me on that?
Yeah.
We used to have a lot of fun with that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I miss that. Stratego Legends was good. They got to bring that. Huh?
I said I ain't that old yet, but I can't remember.
They got to bring back Stratego Legends, man. That was good.
Okay, the next one is one we've never played. Inner Compass. We got it at the last year's AEG Big Game Night. They were just giving these out when you left, and I mean it looks so boring. Yeah. It's
not going to hit the table. It's just not. Yeah.
I was like, the dude handed it to me, and I was like, thanks.
Yeah. In Inner Compass, you play as one of 4 characters searching for meaning in their everyday lives. Jesus Christ! I'm not gonna... No! You know, no offense to the designer or anything.
Make the right life... I was reading it. Make the right life choices, experience the full spectrum of emotions. Like, no thank you. I'm living in, like, you know... the downfall of capitalism right now. I have enough emotions.
Yes, the real world is a hellscape. I don't want to live it out in a board game as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's just not. No, it's not gonna. It's really not gonna hit the table, is it? Ever, like ever. Okay, so my next one is a game that we used to have a lot of fun with. It just never hits the table anymore. This might shock some people. It is Dead of Winter. The thing about Dead of Winter is a very good game, but I do feel like once you've played it past a certain point, it loses its replayability. The thing is, once you've seen all the crossroad cards and they come up again, you're like, oh yeah, we've done that before. You know what I mean? Like the storyline beats, they get old because you've seen them, you've done them. And also the viciousness of the game of how easy it is to lose characters to frostbite or zombie bites.
Or the traitor.
Yeah, it after a while you start to be like, even though I still think this is a good game, I would highly recommend it to you if you haven't tried it. It's just that I think the replayability becomes kind of limited, and you don't really know where it's going to be with your personal group until you play that game where you're like, yeah, I think we're done with Dead of Winter. It just sort of happens. Like all of a sudden you play this one game where you're like, yeah, this isn't going to hit the table for a while after this. And we kind of had that point, and it's been sitting on the shelf and not hitting the table for a while. And because of that, I think we're going to hopefully let someone else play this some until they find their point, you know? Pass it on. Pass on the fun.
Okay, this one also has not been opened. It is Boss Monster 2. We barely play Boss Monster 1.
No, we played
play it.
Oh, currently.
Currently?
Yes.
What was I can't even remember.
It's been a while. Okay, I had a lot of fun with Boss Monster 1, and so did you. You had a lot of fun with Boss Monster 1.
It got really old for me quick, though.
All right, so it wore out with you. I am insisting on holding on to Boss Monster 1 because it's not keeping up a lot of space. But you were like,
yeah,
we're not going to play Boss Monster 2.
Yeah.
So, all right, but we can reminisce with Boss Monster 1 at some point. This next game is a game that I had reviewed kind of early on my channel. This is Phoenix Covenant. This is a game I like. I had rated it positively. I think I'd given it like 7 stars out of 10, somewhere around there. But the problem is, so this is a battle game, and you use cards to represent the units, and they move around on the board, and the game was fun, but it had a lot of issues. It had, I don't know if the FAQ is still up, but they had a FAQ that was like 12 pages long. So there were a lot of rules issues in here that were very problematic. You had to constantly be checking the FAQ, and that was a bit of an issue. And then on top of it, even if those rule issues weren't in here, even if they didn't have that problem, the game itself was only fun enough to be like around a 7, and it just doesn't hit the table over so many other 2-player battle games in our collection. We have a ludicrous number of battle games, and this one just doesn't beat any of them out. Like, I mean, there's so many that I would play before this, like BattleTech or Sails of Glory or Star Wars Armada or what's the one that's in the Runebound universe? It's like Battlelore. Yeah,
They all have battle in them.
yeah, they all have well, a lot of them do. Yeah, they do. But there's so many great battle games, 2-player battle games in our collection, and so many of them I would choose to play if we're looking to play a 2-player battle game, either with you or with Alex or with anybody, before Phoenix Covenant. So yeah, hopefully someone else will enjoy it more than I did and get to play it.
Okay. Next one is Unopened Kitten Clash. I don't even remember where we got this.
I do. I remember.
Okay.
So you bought some stuff from a booth at Gen Con, and they just threw that in your bag as a freebie.
Okay.
And then we just never tried it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is. Like,
it's obviously a card game with kittens.
Yeah.
Pattern matching duels.
It looks a bit young for us, and it was also something that like we didn't
6+, 1 minute to play.
Yeah, we didn't go out of our way to even check it out, and we weren't really that interested in it.
Yeah. It looks like it's one of those similar to like Slapjack, where it's like reflexes.
Yeah, don't know. All right, so the next one, and this one, okay, so this one I thoroughly still enjoy. I'm not getting rid of this because I don't like it. This is RR, or Religion and Regality, or Religion, this one they call it Regality and Religion, excuse me. This is a fantastic little card-laying game with some abstract strategy elements. I really enjoyed this a lot. However, we were sent to review the sequel game, RRR, Religion and Regality Revolution. And that is so much, head and shoulders, in my opinion, better than the RR. It just replaced it for me. So the thing was, we're looking through the collection, and this has a bigger box even than the new version, than the sequel game. And Lynn says to me, "Are you ever going to play RR over RRR?" And I was like, no, I'm really not. Like, why are we holding on to the old one? So we're getting rid of RR just because the new one has replaced it. However, if someone were to see this used in the store and pick this up, this is a good buy. This is a very fun game. You and I had a lot of fun with this before we got RRR. And then, but it's just that, like, after we played RRR, we were both like, oh, this just replaces the old one. It just totally does.
Okay, the next one I think was, again, one of the free games at the last AEG game night. Cheaty Mages. We never played it. Not opened. Not interested.
We weren't, it just didn't tickle our fancy. I would say the stuff from the last AEG game night kind of overall just didn't really tickle our fancy too much. That's why we're not going this year, actually, at Gen Con.
Yeah.
I really feel like AEG's big game night used to be amazing, and it's really kind of gone downhill. I really hope they come back. But I do think also their game quality needs to come back up.
A lot of the games that they're focusing on seem to be lighter games, which I do like light games, but
they used to have some fantastic midweight games that were great.
I don't want 6 light games just shoved in my hands that I have no interest in.
Okay. Well, there is one we held on to that one that we're not getting rid of was that Scorpius Freighter, because that looked cool. That was like a nice middleweight game. But we haven't. It's on our shelf of shame right now. We have to get it to the table.
We'll see.
Yeah. My next
we
one.
might get rid of it.
My next one is similar to Lynn's one with the has dust on it. I'm clearing the dust off here. Oof. Let me get that onto the table off the table so it can be vacuumed. But my next one is very similar to Lynn's one with the Judge Dredd miniatures game. This again was because of the theme. It is the Doctor Who miniatures game. The base set comes with the Daleks and the Cybermen, and it's based on that episode during, I think it was the Matt Smith time period where the Daleks and the Cybermen were fighting. And then I also got a box where you could be Matt Smith and his various, not Matt Smith, excuse me, David Tennant, the David Tennant Doctor, the 10th Doctor, along with a bunch of his sidekicks.
Companions.
His companions. Yes, of course, companions. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, you've got basically all his companions there. You've got Rose, Donna, Martha, and I forget what is...
Is that Donna's
grandpa? I don't remember what his name was. But anyway, yeah. So I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And the thing was, it's just... The problem is, I've got a lot of miniature games, and right now I'm painting BattleTech miniatures, for instance. I just don't have the time to paint the stuff in here, and I really got it because of my love and nostalgia for Doctor Who in general, which has faded because the last couple of Doctors, the showrunners running the show through the last couple of Doctors have really disappointed me, and I feel the show has really gone downhill, and we just don't watch it anymore. So my liking of this and the nostalgia effect is kind of waned. So I feel like, you know what, it's okay, I can sell it on, maybe someone else will get to play it and enjoy it. So
another one of the free games from the AG game night. We did play this at the AG game night.
It was just okay.
It was fine, but again, not interested.
It's very light.
Yeah.
It's like a set collecting game.
Math involved. Yeah, no thank you.
Very set collecting. The next one, this is one, now I have quite a few versions of Risk in my collection. As you can see, a bunch of them back there, actually. Yeah, well, I was going to say, what do we have, 3 up there? 2? 3. There's 3 up there. There's, behind us, you can see Game of Thrones Risk, Lord of the Rings Risk, and Mass Effect Risk, which I'm holding on to all those. But this one, I didn't really like it. And it's funny because this is one of the ones that I think is most unique in the fact that it did a very different style of game, but the problem is, in addition to fighting each other, you have to fight the zombies, and the zombies can very randomly just pop up and destroy your territory, and it more than anything, it feels frustrating. And you shouldn't be frustrated while playing a game. So, like, I would never play this over any of the other versions of Risk we have. It's just, it hit the table once, and I did not like it. So, I've been holding on to it just for liking the theme and the game, but it's really not going to hit the table, and it's taking up space, and it's a fairly sizable board game to be taking up all that space on the shelves. So you know what, we'll get rid of it. Someone else who's a fan of Walking Dead, or will hopefully get it and try it.
I think this is the last of the AG game night games that we got. Whirling Witchcraft.
We played that.
We played it. It was okay. It was too fiddly for me, because you constantly have to pass things to other people. I would have liked it a lot more if I wasn't constantly having to round robin all this stuff.
Cubes.
Yeah.
Cubes.
It was annoying.
Round robin cubes.
It was annoying more than anything.
Okay, my next one is a game I kickstarted and I liked, but was overall kind of a little disappointed in. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, and I didn't like it equal enough to the price tag. And that is Gkr Heavy Hitters. Now, this game is fun. Don't get me wrong. I gave it a positive rating, and I stand by that. I still think it's fun. I have it along with all its Kickstarter exclusives here. It's a big mech battle game, and I love mechs. The problem is the new edition and the new stuff they've had going for BattleTech has been amazing. And at this point in time, I would never pull this out over BattleTech. And the mechs in BattleTech are far more affordable. This is ludicrously expensive. I'm just going to either eBay this or sell it or give it to somebody to play. Yeah, I'll see if Alex wants it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kickstarter exclusives.
My next one is Neverland's Legacy. This one, there we go. The light makes it. We didn't enjoy it. Josh,
it's broken. It doesn't work.
Hates it.
It doesn't work.
Okay,
it doesn't work.
We played it once, and that was it.
So this is part of a series of games that are all based on fictional characters from classic literature. They had Sherwood's Legacy,
Albion's Legacy
for King Arthur, and the Neverland's Legacy, We played Albion's Legacy at a game event at Gen Con. You really liked it and went bought the whole series.
Yeah.
The other two are okay in different levels of good. This one, like, and we double and triple checked the rules. The way the rules are written, it's broken. It doesn't actually function. There's some kind of error in the rule book. And we, at the time, we couldn't find a fact or anything to even fix it. But it doesn't play right. It doesn't play right at all. It just doesn't.
Like, again, it was, I bought it because there was probably some kind of special, like if you bought all three for like a certain price.
No, there was no special. You just bought all three.
Okay, well, I'm not even like a super big fan of Peter Pan. Like, I don't know. I think it was just like, oh, well, it's there and it's part of a set. I might as well have the complete set.
So my next one is some stuff for another role-playing game. I don't actually have the complete role-playing game. This is Starfinder. So the good people over at Paizo sent me a lot of stuff over time to review. They sent me a lot of stuff for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which I was running a group of and was happy to review lots of things of. They also then sent me some stuff for Starfinder, but they never actually sent me the actual Starfinder game. They sent me the beginner box and like the Alien Archive 4 and Alien Character Deck. The thing is, I'm running out of room for role-playing games, and being that I don't have the complete role-playing game here, I decided this is getting cut, because rather than buy more books for this when I'm already low on room because I have a lot of role-playing game books, I was like, I'll just get rid of this because I don't actually have the main book for it. That said, what I did have for it was really cool, and hopefully someone else who's a Starfinder fan will enjoy this.
The next one is Phantom Society. This is like a little memory game. It's a, kids game. Let's see, 8+. Josh didn't like it. Always accused me of cheating just because I have a really good memory for memory games.
Or you're a cheater.
I was not cheating. Every single time.
Yeah,
he was like, "You're cheating." He would rage quit. He's like, "You're cheating." And
she says, "Good memory." Like first thing, she's like, "Oh, you're there." Oh my god! All right, so my next one was a game I enjoyed, but Lynn did not enjoy nearly as much, and because of it, it's never hit the table since the first time we played it. And that is Master of the Galaxy. Now, I did quite like this one. I thought it had some interesting potential. But in reality, it's just lost in the shuffle of all the games in our collection, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going to hit the table. I do think there's some merit to this one, and hopefully someone else will get to have some fun with it. It was a fun kind of like a little bit of 4X colonizing game, but done with some different mechanics. So yeah, that is Master of the Galaxy.
This next one is Zombie Box. This one is just because we have another game that does the same thing that we like better.
Which is
Fire Tower.
Fire Tower, yes.
Yeah.
It's got a very similar feel.
Mm-hmm. It's just...
The mechanics are very similar.
The mechanics are very similar.
In this, it's spreading disease, and that it's spreading fire, because the forest is burning down. Yeah. But yeah, you were saying, I don't... Now that we have Fire Tower, you didn't think you would ever pull that out over Fire Tower, so... That's fair. The next one is a game I liked quite a bit, but again, I have a very competitive field for two-player battle strategy type games because of how many I have in my collection. Actually, I liked this one quite a bit, but yeah, it's just not going to hit the board over all the other two-player kind of war games I have, and that is Tactical Tech. Now, I did a full review of this, and I still recommend it. I still like it. I still think it's worthwhile. It's just I can't see myself playing it over like the 12 other two-player. I have a lot of war games, don't I? I'm thinking about it, and I've got like Sky Tear, and what's the one with what is the one I got with the towers? I don't know. Oh my god, I've got so many. I can't even remember the names of them. So yeah, it's just the problem is it's just not going to hit the table over a lot of the other two-player war strategy games I have, as good as it is. And this is actually probably one of the most liked games in this entire group that I really still like. But it's just not going to hit the table, unfortunately. So I'm going to let someone else get a chance with it.
Next one is Once Upon a Time. We have a newer version of this, so that is the only reason why this one is going away.
The new edition replaced the old one, that's all. Yeah, and you know, it's a good game. So I mean, even though it's an old edition, it's still playable. Someone can still totally get a good time out of using it. So the next one I have here is Fate of Fantos, the Iridium Wars. Now this was a pretty fun game. It can sometimes overstay its welcome depending on how you play it. It's very aggro. This is a very aggro game that plays well at multiple players, but it can also be very punishing, and there can be player elimination, which is a problem. I did like this game, but not enough to keep it in the collection. The nostalgic buffet that is in here is really cool too. I think someone else will really enjoy this, and I hope they do. But Lynn really didn't like this game, and because of that, it has a significantly decreased chance of hitting the table in our house. So I'm going to give this one away to somebody else. So there you go.
Next one is Bring Your Own Book.
Yeah.
Josh doesn't like this game.
It's very meh.
I thought it was fun. It's a game where you choose a real life book, and then you use that book in the game, and everyone has a different book, so everyone has different answers. You have to there's cards with a prompt, and then you have to flip through the book and find something that fits it.
The problem with this game, and this is what it comes down to. So think of this one as think of Cards Against Humanity, where you have a card that prompts you with a question or a blank, and you find something, and instead of finding something amongst a hand of cards, you have an actual book to find the something. That's basically what this game is. But the problem with it is, because it's similar to Cards Against Humanity in that it's very subjective in who is the funniest answer, I decided to test something out. And I went and got, from our books upstairs, I still have in my collection, the Beavis and Butthead Encyclopedia. And that book is just full of ridiculous phrases. So the thing was, I didn't lose a single round that I competed in because I was pulling out ridiculous phrases, and basically I used that to prove that this game is broken. Because if you just go out of your way to pick a ridiculous, silly book, you're gonna win. You're not gonna win picking Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's just not gonna do it for you. You need something silly. And yeah, but I think that kind of subjectiveness is what ruins the game, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, this next one is a game that we did like. We were given it for review from CGE. Thank you very much, CGE. We did enjoy it. Just not enough to keep it in the collection when we need to make space. This is a really fun game where part of it is real time and building the ship, and then part of it is moving around and doing a pick up and deliver game. And I did like that. I thought it was really cool.
I like the shipbuilding part. I would, while I was building my ship, I would forget that there was a second part, and then I would get bummed out when we had to do the second part. I was like, no, I want to build a ship.
You just want to build a ship. I liked this game, though. I thought Galaxy Trucker, second edition, was a really fun game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I do recommend it to others. And it's just that it loses out to some of the other games in our collection and why it doesn't hit the table enough. So yeah, I'm gonna let someone else get a chance with our copy. Chance to have some more fun.
The next one is a little deck of cards. It's called Tau. It's a deck of cards that also has a game. I don't think we never played the game.
Nope.
I used to buy decks of cards a lot. I collected them.
Yeah.
And I just have no more room in my collection, so I've stopped buying them. But this was just, it's a neat deck of cards.
Yeah, we were at Gen Con and you were like, oh, it's a deck of cards and there's another game you play, and you bought it, but then we never played the game. I don't know why we never got around to playing the game on that one. The next one was one I reviewed. This was also one I did a Kickstarter preview to, and then when the Kickstarter was over, they sent me a final copy and I reviewed it. I liked it. It was really cool. It is Bee Lives, We Will Only Know Summer. And it has an amazingly nostalgic looking cover for me. I love how this reminds me of the Golden Books illustrations from back in the day. Very cool game where you actually simulate controlling a beehive and its growth and sending out new queens to start new beehives. It's a cool game. It just, again, it's one of those where it gets lost in the shuffle. What it does well, just not well enough to stay in the collection because we have such a huge collection with so many games. There are other games that, for strategy simulation type games, beat it out to the table. And it's not that we didn't like this game. We did enjoy this game. Just not more than a lot of other games that sit next to it on the shelf that we grab before it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
This next one is the Warhammer Champions trading card. Is it trading? Yeah, trading card.
It was
game.
a trading card game.
Yeah.
You were kind of iffy on it.
Yeah, it was right.
Yeah. I kind of liked it. I thought it had a unique system, but you were kind of meh on it, so we never continued with it. We got free copies of Gen Con for review one year. My next one's one we didn't really like. This was Alien Artifacts. It promised to be a 4X game and a card game, and it didn't really deliver. There's the negativity for you. Meh. It was very meh.
I don't even remember it.
The artwork was gorgeous. The artwork, beautiful. The gameplay, yeah.
Okay. This one is a Three Little Pigs game.
Very light.
Yeah, it's very light. It's fun. It's good for kids. We're probably gonna see if our niece wants it.
Yeah, probably. It's just not heavy enough for us.
Yeah, we used to play it a lot more, and now we have games that we like more than it that is of the same weight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This is another really light one. Again, I was sent this one for review, and we did do a review of this. It's a fine game. Plays fine. Super light, super fast. Check out the review of this. This is Niche. Now, it was okay. It was okay. We did like it. We gave it a positive rating. It's just one of those, again, it's we've got a lot of light games in the collection, and this doesn't hit the table over a lot of the others. Mm-hmm. So, even though it's small and doesn't take up a lot of room, we decided to cull it because it's just not hitting the table enough. So hopefully someone else will get a chance to give this one a good home.
Mm-hmm. The next one is Pingle Pingo.
Pingo Pingo.
It's one we're probably gonna send over to our niece. It's a
very
kid,
cute.
It's kind of almost like dexterity because
it's real time, and you get to shoot darts.
Yeah, you have a little flintlock pistol with a dart gun with like the sucker on the end, and you have to like shoot various targets
and run around and touch things.
Run around, yeah.
It uses a CD, and as the CD plays, it gives you prompts to do things. Mm-hmm. It's very cute.
Yeah.
But we only ever play it when we have a kid over.
Yeah, we only play it when there's like small children here.
Yeah, if family visits with kids, we'll pull this out to play with little kids. But otherwise, we never play it. It just doesn't get played on its own. The next one I had was this game, Tales of Arcana. This was a little like role-playing game in a deck of cards, which I love the concept. We tried it out once. You really weren't feeling it. I was trying to get into it. It did seem like it was pretty fun, but we tried it once. You didn't like it, and then it's just never hit the table again. So goodbye.
This next one is Andromeda. This is just kind of like a ship exploration type game. That was fine.
You're exploring a derelict spacecraft.
Yeah, I mean, it was
competing to do so. It wasn't cooperative.
Nothing wrong with it. It was just fine.
Yeah. It was one of those ones that's pretty good, but not going to make it to the table over a lot of other games, unfortunately. Similarly, this one, I dug it. This is game Illimat. This one is like meant to represent like a classic Victorian era card game / board game. I really dug it. I found it to be really interesting. The box itself becomes part of the game, which was really neat. They had these classic like brass components and a really cool deck of cards that felt very classic. Lynn hated it though. Like you had an unnatural level of dislike for this game.
It feels pretentious. If a board game can feel pretentious.
So I figured, what the hell? I'll cull it. Away it goes. Someone else will hopefully get to enjoy it.
And the last one, which is another one we might send over to our niece if she wants it, is Mino and Tori. Again, it's a fun kids game. It's uses,
We had a lot of fun with this, probably more than we should have based on our age.
Yeah, really.
Because we played every maze in this game.
We did. Yeah, it's like you're figuring out mazes and getting items for your spaceship.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We really did enjoy this one quite a bit. So, that said, though, like you said, we've played it out, and it hasn't hit the table since we've played all the mazes, and that's been a number of years. So it's probably a good time to get rid of it. So there you have it. That is that everything?
That's everything.
We got everything.
That's a lot of things.
That is a lot of things. This is possibly the biggest cull we've ever done.
You were having like heart palpitations.
I
the
was.
other day.
Well, especially because a lot of these were hard choices. There were a lot of these that I liked. Like the one that I said most was Tactical Tech. I think that's the highest rated game in here that we're getting rid of. And I think I gave it like 8 stars. And I stand by that 8 stars. I really like the game. It's just that it's in a particular genre that I love so much that I have a ludicrous number of games of 2-player tactical combat simulation type games that it's just, there's too much competition. I mean, like running just through my head, just thinking right now, I've got Battlestar Galactica Starship Battles, Star Wars Armada, Battletech, Wings of Glory, Sails of Glory, Wings of Glory Tripods and Triplanes, Battle Lore, Sky Tear. I've got so...
Is Cloudspire one?
Cloudspire, that's the one I was trying to think of before, and you're like, I don't know, Cloudspire. So many of these two-player like war strategy games, so many of them in my collection. That's just ones I can think of without looking at the actual games. Oh, if I turn around, I got Rivet Wars over there. I mean, they're everywhere in my collection. I have a ludicrous number of these. And the problem is that as good as this game was, the replayability was a little lower than average of the rest of these games we've mentioned. So the rest of these games tend to hit the table more. But yeah, there were a few of these I was hurting to part with because I was like, oh, but I liked that one. I might want to play it again.
I haven't played it in 3 years.
Oh, the pain. Oh, did you get the knife? But yeah, no, I did. So a lot of these were painful. Did you have any of these that were painful for you to decide to get rid of? Because you had really? Because there were a few of these that you had liked a lot in your time.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I'm just like...
It was time?
Yeah, I'm just like, less is more with me at this point. Like, I don't need a ton of things.
Okay.
I just need like 5 things that I really like.
So basically, were the ones that were maybe would have been the tougher decisions for you was that all of them had a game that replaced them? Like how Zombie Pox was replaced by Fire Tower for you?
Yeah.
So you were like, no big deal, I got Fire Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let us know what you think of all these games we've culled. Have you had any trouble recently culling a game that really just hurt you to have to part with? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this board game collection cull video and would like to see us do more like it whenever we do board game collection culls, feel free to give this video a like and subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube, and share this video on any form and all forms of social media. And until next time, game on.